Well, good afternoon, my friends, and happy weekend. It's Friday here, and I've literally just walked in the door. I've been to Sydney to see my mum, and as always, that's a really special time for me. And what could make it better more than a stitch with you? And because my nest is very messy, I wanted to be Kate in the nest, working on a nest. Because these are really my happy places. So if you saw me a few weeks ago, would it be now? I started this nest. It's part of some pieces that I'm calling Roses Are Red. And I think I showed you this from the beginning. And in fact, I think I made it when I was overseas. So what it was, that's right, it's all coming back to me now. I didn't even have a plate to trace the circle on. So this is literally a square with the corners off it, with a side part that's starting to stand up nicely. And I've still got lots of things to do. I like to embellish the bottom. And this is very green. It won't be green, but it was that French furnishing fabric. And I love just adding bits as we go. And the good thing about starting this somewhere else and coming home is that I've now got access to new things to add onto it. So let's just get straight into stitching. Oh, I was working on this with my mum. Well, while I was talking to her. So that's one of my hold me in your hands pouches that's taking shape, but I've got it for the needle. I have to say thank you. My bazaar is well underway. So thank you to those who've already got in early. I did have a set of pink threads that has already sold out. And we haven't even been up for, let me see, I can't do the maths, 7 hours, 7 or 8 hours. And so I've just restocked, and they're called Pinks to Make Your Heart Sing. So 4 beautiful merino and wool threads if you're interested, plus some other things. And every bazaar is different, and when it's gone, and that combination of things won't be there again. So let's get in the mood of some roses. I've got this hot pink actually. Let's work on this one. So the idea is with the nest, we use our scraps and we use any little feature, or that was bad because I haven't threaded properly. I didn't pull the whole wool through. So I'll put that to the side because it's a bit shredded. So all my wools are variegated, and this one's got a little bit of fluoro in it. So what are you up to? Have you got weekend plans, or you might be watching this months down the track? Whenever you get to it, I just hope there's something in here that makes you smile. See, even in the time that it took to thread that needle, I've changed my direction, and I want to add a little center to these flowers here. So, and if you're someone in Australia who has school-aged children, I think all of Australia may be on holidays. The states overlap. But yeah, the New South Wales officially went on holidays this afternoon, which I realised when I got stuck in traffic. I thought, hang on, what's going on here? I mean, it's getting busier and busier to go to the city anytime. So I'm thankful I can go. Had a lovely day. My mum actually had her first ever fall on Monday night, and we've been worried about her, but she didn't break anything. I might have told you that the other day. We're just grateful. She's sore, but today she was up And so we just sat at the table and I stitched away, hand stitching, slow stitching while chatting. And she said she loved that. I picked up, instead of going out to coffee, I picked the coffee and the Portuguese tart, which is her absolute favourite, up on the way. So we had it in home, up to me saying that it was a very mild winter. It struck today, and yeah, it's a nasty wind out there. So it's good to be home in the nest, working on a nest. Now, part of what we can do on our nests is they become a reflection of what we most like to do. But the advantage is that every layer you add and every stitch you add to them makes them stronger. So again, it can be just this continuous process of adorning, making like a true bowerbird. You can see a little bit of the fluoro there, and you know, in my style, it's the colour underneath is the guide to the shape, not the exact colour. So I use this pattern. The pattern of this petal underneath. Thank you for your beautiful comments. I've been reading some lovely, lovely things, and I want to do a special mention to our Dawn on here, one of the kin who has shared that her husband is suffering from late stage cancer. So Dawn, I haven't written to you yet, but I wanted to say that we're all thinking, and thank you to the lovely people who have responded to Dawn, because that is, again, the most beautiful thing of being a community. Now I'm worrying a little bit about Kiki. She's been quiet, and that's not like her. So I've sent her some messages. So I'm just also have her in mind. I'm grateful for Kelly May, who's through her surgery for her tumour and feeling more comfortable and resting. So being in the car is always I don't know about you, when I go on a solo trip, because I can't stitch, I have to focus on driving. It's always a great opportunity for reflection, for thinking about things and people and what's ahead. And yeah, I've had a lovely day for that reason. It was nice to sort of open the bazaar and then spend time with Mum. Got that part done. Tomorrow I've got a day trip to Canberra, the capital city of Australia, with my husband. And so he said, "Are you sure you don't mind coming?" I said, more opportunity for stitching. Okay, let me take you through some things that I've gathered. Basically, I can look on the floor at the moment and gather bits and pieces. I wanted to, I might have, I do think this actual bottom needs to be further enhanced. So we can do that by adding more blanket to the base. I just found that there, and that's a pretty bit of blanket. It doesn't actually have to be the right size, but it can just add If I put that, oh, I do like that pink though, don't I? Okay. I've got myself into a, I do have a little bit of that. Not sure. I'll have a think about that. I think I showed you that. Oh, I know. Maybe I could use that there. This is a beautiful, colourful doily that I found in New Zealand. So that could go on there and that would strengthen it and look pretty. And sometimes the little frills can show out. Let's look around for some pins. So let's keep that as one idea. Oop. And then in the center, I don't know if this is the perfect one. I actually am going to look for some roses because the lovely owner, the person who's getting this, the new nest, person loves roses. So I'm going to look to see whether I've got I better just test because it's dark. So I'm home in the dark, everyone, so I won't keep you a long time. But it is always lovely to have a feature doily sometimes in there, even though they get covered over. So it may be that I find a doily that has roses on it, or in this case, I could harvest a rose out of fabric and embellish it. Like I'm thinking of one of these roses. I could put it over the doily, like not covering that, but covering in there. So that's an idea. Or I can do lots of things. Like I found some flowers, like these are all off-cutty little bits. A little rose, and make a garden in the bottom. So lots of choices. I'll have a look at doilies because I know Kalpana likes the vintage look. So just let's leave that one in there for the moment. The other bits and pieces that I have around me, here's a little bit of a scrappy bit, and there's a spare pin, and this has got a little bit of sari, a little bit of the Japanese scarf that I got in New Zealand, some Liberty from Perth, and Perth materials. So that is of a scrappy make that I will add here to build the story as well as strengthen the sides. So I've got a little spare bit there. So how about so layer upon layer. I don't want to say it because you might all echo with me, but flower to flower. And in my case, I just grow the garden in a way my eye says that's the right way to have it. It's covering over nothing and a little bit of blue, and it's joining that garden to those flowers, and it's thick. So that can go in there. I also found, now I didn't plan that, I promise you. It was just as I picked it up, I went, maybe. I got this in Canberra last time I was there, and I remember showing you. I wonder if that could be. I think that's pretty beautiful. And then I could probably colour in anyway. Getting excited. Let's just pop that there. And this is where a messy nest can be a great advantage. So I hadn't actually put that there for any purpose. It was underneath. I've got a little bit of sari here. So we just start going around the edges. Okay, here's a bit of green that we love, the green. But is there something else that we could put in there? This is a little bit of leftover block print, and I like it because it's got the edge on it, and so it's thicker. So how about we harvest a little bit of that? I've started to colour that, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, this is a bit too greeny here, so we've got room to play. It could even be that that goes down there to bolster that wall a bit more. Let me show you what else I've got. Because I was making the July jingles the other day, I've got some of this little bit, and it's roses. So what if, what's on the outside here? Don't want to cover up too much. I've already embellished that, but that bit's plain there. So what if we come down in here, yep, and add those roses there, like a tab type of idea. Thinking about that. I have got some fringe. Always love a bit of fringing. And in the way I do this, there would never be a fringe. Well, I shouldn't say never. You can't ever say never, Kate. But I would not usually plan to put fringe all the way around. I would just use it as a little bowerbirdie bit, because a bird would have to be very lucky to grab to find enough to go around a whole nest. Okay, I feel like stitching that on there now because that feels like fun, and then I can go into the back. So of course the only particular challenge is, where did that needle go? And remember, I've got this little bit as well. Do we have to find another needle, my friends? What's that in there? That's a, oh, is this a needle? Well, it's a needle, yeah. Okay, let's change threads. Where am I going to do that? So let's use orange, not pink. Bit of fluoro. I don't want to block that rose, and I don't want to block this little sari flower. So we're going to sort of go in. My mum insisted, I was nearly going to say the word demand, but she doesn't demand, but she insisted that I take up some more fabric because she wants to make some more pouches, because she knows that I'm sharing them now with people at workshops. So I did take her some up. I said, I don't think I need it till next year, but she said, oh, it's just nice to have, you know, something to make. So and I won't show you how many I brought home with me. She's used up yeah, all the fabric that I had, which is, you know, as I said, totally blessed, and I have to enjoy every moment. I did get struck, and she said with her age, she said to me, oh, Katie, I never imagined that I would be a person that had a fall. And she goes, your father fell and so-and-so's had a fall. And she said, I never thought it wouldn't be me. And she's just so beautiful. She was just shocked. But again, the gratitude came out. And she said, but nothing was hurt and I didn't like it, but look at me now. So, yeah. I mean, but I'm trying to say is I think we're all resilient, aren't we, ladies? And she was talking about her favourite thing is still her embroidery machine. That's why I said just spend your time doing embroideries. And so she's given me some little bumblebee embroideries to bring home. And I said maybe I can put them in the pouches as well. So I'm sort of doing big stitches and then I made crosses there. If I said that I was meaning to make crosses, they wouldn't have come out, and I certainly couldn't do 3 in a row. And remember, this is, I actually listened to a podcast from Ree Bloom when I was in the car as well. And it was an interview with a floral photographer from the UK. And anyway, I mean, I felt like part of it. They were talking about workshops and how wonderful workshops are in terms of finding out more about yourself. And that's what you take workshops just to be in that beautiful flow and to chat with others. And it was just great to hear it as we all talk about. And we remember not all of us can do workshops, but I know there's more and more online, which is wonderful. But yeah, that sense that, how did I get onto this? Don't be like me. Well, I'm not advocating that everyone stitches like this. I'm just here doing it my way. And I always credit Fleur because I went to Fleur's first workshop and she said, you just sit there and do you, Kate. I've told you that many times, but how amazing. That's for me what a great teacher is. Facilitates, sets up a safe and supportive atmosphere, and lets people grow and flourish without the expectation. And there was a reminder, they were saying that, I think, anyway, Complex, who knew who and whatever, but 2 of them had taught a workshop together, and they were again saying, we gave everyone the same things at the start, and every single person created something different, which I've told you over and over is what I love most about being in the workshop as well as teaching a workshop. Right, so I've got that there to come back to, and I've left the that background blanket on that one because it will strengthen that side. Maybe that would be a good spot for that, for that little bit of, where did I have it? Lost it already, this bit. And we'll grow the garden actually and use it instead of hide it. So see how that's got a ridge on there? I could put it at the top or at the bottom. I think I'm going to tuck it into the bottom and use it to bring both the bottom and the side together, if that makes any sense. Let's just put my needle there and use it like a pin and change threads again. What will we do? I said to Mum, I showed her, I said, this is what it is in here. She goes, it's very colourful. I said, yes, I play eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So this is my travelling basket that I took today. Oh, I'm going to drop the thread. Phew, I remembered where my needle was. So see how that's the original stitching together, and we just layer and layer and layer like we are the birds that we are, bringing home extra things for the nest. And it doesn't matter whether it's seen or not. And in years to come, well, I know now, I look at my nests and go, I mean, I've got, I may as well show you here. Some of you who haven't been with me, who are recently here, may not know that I started very much in neutrals. This was very bold for me. And I adore everything I've made. But see, I look at that now, I love it. So I just want to get something out and go over the top of that nest. And here's another one. Oh, this one's bigger. This is a real, I usually have this full at workshops, that's why it's empty. And it might come with me to the States, although she's heavy, so that's the problem. This one's got 2 layers of, might even have 3, a blanket on the bottom, and all of this built up around. But what I was going to say is I can pick up, and gain a pin, any one of these nests, and just remember what I was doing. At that time I was still crocheting. I mean, I still can crochet, but I haven't made crocheted roses for a while. But there's that same sort of signature, my love of fringe and chenille. Mum made me some of those little purses in this fabric. We had a chat about that. Oh, did I make that one? Or someone else made that for me? Can't remember. But, you know, they're things, and this is why I call it art. For all of us, we've spent hours and hours and often years and years, and we are evolving. Oh, gosh, everything's falling. Evolving our work all the time. So let's not keep it in the house. Let's keep talking about it and being proud of what we do. See, that's just emboldened me, and I'm doing very big stitches. I'm not catching that doily yet, but yeah, I'm feeling that I'll go through and see if I've got a rose doily, and if not, I'll do that and add a rose and make it very special. Okay, so this bit here, let's fold up under there and then go over the top. So you can see I've got blanket 1, 2, and this will be the 3rd layer over the top. Talked about that she would say that she learnt to sew, to stitch, when she was 5, and that she always had, you know, the interest in it, and that when she married my dad, that the first thing she did after they got married is she said they called it tech in those days, like an adult college for learning. We call it TAFE, I think, more now. To learn dressmaking, to prepare her for making children, you know, her own clothes and children's clothes. I hadn't realised that. until she told me. So that was like it was part of the toolkit to get ready to be a mum. I mean, it was, sorry, I've gone quiet because I was just thinking about all of that and the change in generations and the stories and what young women do today. And I suppose we've got YouTube to teach us how to do things, which is, you know, a huge benefit of technology. You know, there are all sorts of views, either, you know, good and bad and all of that. And I'm not getting into that. But in terms of being a lifelong learner, if you want to learn how to do something, we can find it here, can't we? Mum still watches a YouTube, but not me. She wants to make, what was she telling me? She's got a project on the table there. There were pencil cases, like little long pencil cases with the name pencils embroidered in it. So, like, never stops. Okay, so I've still got thread in this needle. So I'm just, as I always do, let's just travel with these little seed stitches. No planned direction, but every stitch, as I say, adds texture, beauty, and strength in the terms of a nest. You know, it's turned completely dark outside, and I don't like seeing my videos come up as like in shadows, because that's sort of, I like the light. So we might finish it there. I've got some threads hanging. Okay, so we started down here. We've done a little meander. So it may be that so I've still got stuff to put over the top there. I haven't stitched that, but that's an idea for in there. I won't leave it looking like a square. And in fact, let's do that now. Let's just shape the flowers. So the square becomes a more organic shape, which makes it easier for that rose to become a sister with that one there. So still lots to do, but so much fun. I cannot recommend a nest enough. I'm so excited. I get to teach nests when I'm in Texas, and the times that I've taught nests here in Australia, the result has been wonderful. I just love seeing how we will make nests. All right, there you go, my friends. There is an update on the nest from Kate in the nest, in her nest, from my nest to yours. I'll stop the puns now, but have a happy night. Thank you so much for keeping me company. Tip you over there. And I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye. Oh, see, that's shadow. I don't like that. Nighty night.